Can you tell us about advanced baseball training and some of your background in baseball?
Sure. My name's Alfredo Portela. I operate advanced baseball training in Chesapeake, Virginia. And what I offer to youth players in Hampton Roads, 12 to 18 is usually my age range, is a very unique training opportunity that encompasses a lot more than the norm. I've developed it over a long period of time to the point where I think I've honed it and really offer strong benefits to players that are into the game. Definitely, this is not for the casual player. This is for that player who wants to play at the high school level or at the college level. My background includes 10 years as a minor league baseball general manager, in which I learned a tremendous amount of baseball from instructors. Also, I doubled my last couple of years as a GM as the player personnel director in Canton, Ohio. So I actually chose the players, so I had to figure out their skill sets and make decisions based on that. I've been a private instructor for over a decade, and here in Chesapeake, and before this in Ohio. And I'm also the co-owner of BMS, which is Baseball Management Services. We're an agency for baseball players, and we have players from the major leagues through all the levels of the minor leagues. And we're also advising some high school and college players currently. Well, I think there's very definitive goals for me. I want, first and foremost, for them to be confident. I think young players normally lack confidence because they don't understand how to deal with it. They don't have any process for it. They haven't been taught anything about it. And confidence is, so much of it is emotional, mental. The more they know a subject, the more confident they're going to have.
So why offer this kind of training?
It's a good question. I think the why is very important. I think people gravitate toward why people do something, and my why is very simple. I have a really intense passion for it on a lot of levels. I have 3 sons. 2 still currently play the game, and it's been a very important part of my life from a lot of different perspectives. And the part that I love more than anything in the world is working with young players and showing them what is possible. So I love it when a player develops and grows and starts to change and understand the game better, and then it shows in his performance. It's very exciting for me, and that's why I do it. In addition, I want them to be independent, meaning eventually I want them to be their own pitching coaches, their own hitting coaches. They can do that during a game. They can slow the game down through the learning of the advanced baseball training techniques. So eventually, really, what I want for them is not to need me.
So it appears that this training has some rather unique components. Can you talk about your particular approach?
The one thing I've noticed is there's so much work on the physical side. Put your hands here, your hip needs to be there. And I find that incredibly important. It's the foundation, it's the basis of everything. But for me, it just doesn't end there. That's one of the 3 components that I think are incredibly important and vital. You have to have it. The other 2 are the mental approach and the emotion. What I've done is develop a system over the years where I can teach all 3 sides of it, the physical, the mental, the emotional, at the same time. And by teaching all 3 of these things at the same time, you get a well-rounded player, simple processes that they can learn to control all 3 of those elements. And what I have found is the spike in performance is unbelievable. And it happens quickly. It happens fast. So the players see that change, and then they're encouraged by it, which creates more change, and so on and so forth.
And I understand that you offer support outside of the individual training session.
the hour-long training sessions, that's just a piece of it. I try to attend games, which I think is vitally important. Seeing a player in the laboratory of a session and seeing a player in a real live performance are two different animals. And I learn a lot about how to train players by actually going to see them in live action. In addition, I want them to call me after a game or a performance so that we can talk through the processes that they're going through and the learning curves and the issues that they encounter. We're all about performance. We're all about results, I think, way too often. And I'm more concerned with learning a process that will give you results.
Being in the area so long, have you had the chance to work with any local players or get results? Can you talk about that?
2 years ago, during his senior year, I started working with Jordan Sargent. He was at Atlantic Shores and now is at West Virginia University to play baseball. And Jordan was a great player already by the time I met him. He became Player of the Year for the private schools in the state of Virginia 2 years ago. And the team won the state championship. And then Jordan went on to, we've worked together hard for a long time. And this summer he was an all-star in the Collegiate Wood Bat League team that he played for in the Cal Ripken League up in Northern Virginia. And he did it as a position player. And yet, at West Virginia, they are looking forward this year for him to be a big, big part of their pitching staff. So he's developed in so many ways, and his game has grown so much. I've also had the good fortune to work with Devin Fisher. And we worked together hard in the wintertime. And he developed as a hitter, started hitting home runs, started raising his batting average, started taking a lot more walks, swinging at good pitches more, taking the bad ones. The end result is in June, he had a great choice to make. He already had a scholarship to the University of Virginia, but instead he chose to go to the Boston Red Sox organization. He was drafted by them. Look, this is somewhat about baseball players, but that's just the vehicle. It really is about the human being, the person. This is very individualized training. Everybody's different. So the training is different for everybody who undergoes it. And this is about developing the human being so that they can become better baseball players because that's what they love doing.